Welcome back to Rivers Transference Authority. And once again, to start an episode, we are paused. I finally broke down and I was looking for more information about how to get out of the financial crunch that we're in. And fortunately, we just got our passenger trains going, and I hope that they bring us in some money. But I think I finally get it, truly get it. I am thinking efficiently, and that's not the best way to think in this game. As far as if I own this food factory, I would want to bring wheat from here. So I want to thank all of you guys for your suggestions and apologize for my being dense. Now, I don't know if we can truly make this profitable, but I want to try two experiments in this video. We have $2 million that we can still borrow, and I'm going to go ahead right off the bat and borrow another million because I think we're going to need it to do what I want to do. And if not, we can always pay it back. I don't think there's a particular penalty. But this is certainly, in real life, probably the way you would do this, right? You would take your wheat over to here, and then you bring your wheat to your city. That's not the best way to do it in this game. Because the problem is, this game isn't about being efficient and caring about the cost to the farmer or to the factory here. It's about keeping your trucks full. So what I was looking at is we really want to get these trucks, which is a relatively long run, to be carrying twice as much stuff. So what I want to do is I want to build a depot over here somewhere, probably close enough to this that maybe we could use it if we ever fired this up one day. So let's see. I don't know that we would ever use it this way. Let's go to buildings and a truck station, right? And we'll turn this guy, keep him far enough away. Now, I also noticed this too. If let me zoom in a little bit extra. If you move this away, look how the color changes. So I'm assuming that means the further away you are, the less effective it is. So I want to keep that in the bright white. See, I don't know if you guys can tell that on YouTube, but anyway, I want to keep it in the bright white and keep it as far off the road as is reasonable. All right, so now we have a truck stop there. And what I want to do is spend some of our hard-earned, you know what? If we come this way, we get paid for the direct distance. Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. I don't think I can, those aren't like real roads there. They're just, so I think I have to destroy a field, unfortunately, but let's come back over to streets, and we're just going to do the country lane. And one field will be removed. So that's going to cost us 200 grand for that. I'm going to try to keep it cheap otherwise. I don't want too much. Oh, what happened there? That was like lag, I think they call that. There we go. Yeah, so we don't want to destroy two fields, so we're just going to... Alright, we're going to try to stay away from that hill as best we can. Alright, let's turn our angle so we can see where we're going. So we want to go over to that truck stop right there without getting into this hill too much. Probably want to stay, see a little slight uphill grade. I'm okay with that. I don't want to go back down. Yeah, see that got a lot more expensive all of a sudden right there. Okay, if it's a bit of a winding road, I think we should bite the bullet and go through that hill a little bit because we do want it to be relatively straight, right? And it's not a big advantage to go over this way. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that in. Yeah. Yeah, if we come out here, it's relatively flat. That's getting a lot more expensive, and it does affect these guys. right? That's a bit of an expensive stretch of road there, but I'm trying to stay wide of this. How are we doing on straightness? Well, we're getting there. It's not. So that would be. Yeah, that's relatively flat. But this is going to be downhill-ish. Yeah, they're going to have to bite the bullet here, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure that I made it that much cheaper by doing it that way, but now we should be on the flat relatively. And we can come in. I don't want to go too close to that, so in case we ever wanted to. Let's. Oh. All right, we'll just bite the bullet on the cost there. All right, so there we go. So now we can get a line if we can get a station in here, and yeah, I don't know that there's. I don't know that we would ever do this by train, so I think I'm just going to put a road depot somewhere close. Not a road depot, a train station. All right, we'll keep that the bright white. See, brighter, less bright. So now we want a new line that's going to go from here to here. We're going to turn it yellow just because that's the color we've had our wheat. And I'm going to take all those wheat trucks off of that and bring them to this station right here. Or at least a lot of them. All right, so we're going to rename this. Wheat. What is it? FTR. I guess this is south. I don't really know. How do you tell south? We'll call it wheat or FTR south. We'll make this direction more or less south. Sound good? All right. So now let's just do. I got a little more sophisticated, and we can actually do this if we want, and say load wheat. And don't load anything, right? So that won't be the most efficient. Then if we come here, we don't want you to do anything. We just want you to, and I didn't know for a while. One of the reasons I didn't do this is because I didn't know you could click on the title there, like I said. And then, yeah, I do want you to wait, though I don't think you'll ever be waiting because once these things get a route in mind, yeah, we should be okay. So now what I want to do is build another road. Oh, we don't have that much money left. But I do want to build another road from here to there. So unfortunately, I don't think we have to build any more. We don't have to build any more stations, right? We could just come, and this should be relatively flat, I'm hoping. And if we have to borrow more money, we will. And I'm just going to try to head straight towards that one. Yeah, we got a pretty good flat stretch and then a hill right there. So we'll go to the bottom of that hill before it starts asking us for more money. Yeah, see how the road goes up way in expense. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. How much money do we have? 43,000. Yeah, this is all we need. Okay, good. 26. Can we come back? Yeah. Sometimes I don't think you save that much. But I think we saved a little bit, right? So now, what I want to do, and this is going to cost us, but I want to make another line. All right, and this is going to be one of our bread lines. So it's going to replace FTR bread truck. But I'm going to call it bread wheat FTR. And then you're going to go from here to here. Does that make sense? So in this stop, I guess we'll have them wait at both stops, but only wait for like 2 minutes. And then this, what color was FTR bread, was green. So we'll make this green because this is going to replace all the trucks that were going over to here. All right, so that at least these trucks going from here to here will be that. And then, yeah, so we'll have to see how this goes. But the idea being that we get rid of all of the trucks that were on FTR bread and we get rid of all the trucks that were on FTR wheat and switch them over as well. So, yeah, you know what we can do? We can do this. So when you're at the one behind me, Fort Riverdale South, we are going to pick up wheat and we're going to unload bread. And then when we're at this one, which is the one right in front of me, we're going to pick up bread and we're going to unload wheat. All right? Good. I think I got that right. So that should, if we got that right and we play time, we should start seeing that guy filling up. And what I would like to do is kind of pause or start playing the game again. And when I see these trucks coming in, I'm going to start switching them. Right? So this bread truck's heading out. We'll let him go. But then this guy's sitting here waiting. So what I want to do is yeah, that's really not exactly what I wanted to do. Manage vehicle. There we go. So I want to, well, actually, I could just do this, right? I don't have to open that screen. So we want to switch him over to this one. Does that make sense? And then this guy's bringing in wheat. Let's play time. When he gets done dropping off his wheat, I want to switch him over to our new wheat line. Let me pause it a second. What is our... Yeah, what was our new one called? Oh, there it is. Wheat South. Okay, just making sure. I don't want to miss this guy by too much. All right, so this guy... oh, you're waiting for bread. You know what? You should... Can I get you to... All right, well, I need to wait till they get out of the station, I think, to flip them. You know what I can do for a second? Yeah, let's come over here to manage lines. Don't wait for bread. There you go. Now wait for bread. All right, and then this guy can get switched over. This is another wheat one. Now, I don't know if we need all these wheat ones up here, but we'll see. We'll just keep switching people until... So this will be another bread one I need to get out. So I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and get all these switched over, and I'll come back when they are. And here we are back again. I have paused time for a minute because too much is happening for my little brain. In any event, I have taken all of our vehicles off of the FTR bread truck, right? So I want to come in here and manage that line away, right? Make sure I get the right one. FTR bread truck. I also renamed this one FTR Wheat South so that they all kind of show up together. And I created a new line that goes, it's this green, dark green, because I figured, well, yellow plus light green equals dark green. I don't know. But Fort Riverdale South will pick up bread and then take bread into Fort Riverdale. So I forgot to do that one while we were on camera. At this point, I don't have them waiting. And I'd like to start balancing things and talking about balancing things. And I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work out, but let's play time again. And I realized I kind of made a mistake, but I'm okay with it. I don't think it's going to be that detrimental to us. And I'd like to see how we can get this to be balanced. One of the things I realized at this point is that these trucks here that are coming back with bread are going to be half empty because this needs twice as much wheat. So what I thought was, well, why don't we keep our wheat line going, right? And supplement the wheat. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this rate works, but I'm hoping it works like I'm thinking it's going to work. We have the bread wheat at a rate of 24. So let's assume for a minute that stays the same. That means we need wheat to be getting in here. We're going to have 24 wheat coming down, right? So that means we need a rate of 24 here in order to keep these guys full, maybe even a little bit more if we can do it. So, you know what, let me pause because I don't want to run out of money. So what I want to do, let's come up. Well, you know what, we can just come here and say manage vehicles, right? So how many vehicles, can I not pin that? Okay, let's move this guy out of the way. How many vehicles do we think, if one vehicle gets us a rate of 4, we're going to want 5 more vehicles, right? So let's just see if that works out that way. But you know what? So that gets us to 9. So it's not, you know, I guess there's some rounding going on there. So if that gets us to 9, we'll assume, well, that's kind of good because we'd want it to be a little bit extra here. But then the other thing is, I don't think I want to put them all on and have them in a big clump. So, but let's assume that we need, what did I say, 5 more vehicles, right? If we have 2 now, I'm sorry. If we have 2 now, and it's a rate of 9, we wanted to get up to 48, so we would need 4 times as many. Let's get 4 more, because I think we can. So what I want to do is let's just purchase these before we run out of money, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to be earmarked for getting us more wheat, and then whatever they get us will be a bonus. Not a bonus. I mean, we'll make money off of it, right? They'll run back and forth. But this will be the line that's going to be double running. So I'm hoping, yeah, I'm just sort of hoping. All right, so let's close this for a second. And let's come back up here. Now, the other thing that we need to get up to the rate will be this bread delivery. So I don't think we necessarily have enough money at this moment, but how many vehicles? We have 3 vehicles and we would want 4 times as much for our rate. So let's just see if we can, well, I guess we should just buy all the vehicles. So if we did bread delivery, yeah, and I don't want them all jammed up. Let's just double them. So we'll come here, and I think we can afford 3 more of these, right? So we'll see 1, 2, 3. Let's buy an extra one. It's just so we can balance out something else. So if we don't have, if that was just a fluke in our money, because it's, you know, I don't know if our train line here is going to be steady profitable or not, and it's going to be a little while before these guys get into full swing. Now, fortunately, because I dropped the wheat off here, I think we're in pretty good shape. So let's start some time up and see what we can't do, and then periodically we'll go up here. Like very regularly, I'll go up there and release another vehicle. So this is good. So we got plenty of wheat. The wheat trucks are on here. But see, all of these trucks, you know, we need to get these ahead of these as far as making sure that they always have wheat to return. And then we need to get twice as much wheat into here. So we need these other wheat trucks back on this line. So what I really should have done was just left at least some of these on here and then spread them out a little bit better, if that makes sense. So let's come up here. So we said 4 of these. are going to go. And so what I'll do is I think I'll pause the recording again, and we're going to put these guys back on four of these back on FTR wheat. And I don't want the episode to take too long with me just sitting here waiting, because I want to get to one more experiment. And if we're not profitable after this, I think I may just restart with my new understanding. But let me see. So let me pause it and just start trying to do some balancing and getting these rates to be approximately right. Does that make sense? All right. And try to get the trucks a little spread out, so we'll see what happens. All right. See you guys in a minute. Okay. I sort of think I made a bigger mistake and have some advice for you guys in the future. I couldn't figure out for a little while why our wheat north, right, which I renamed this one the wheat north if the other one's the wheat south, was not getting more deliveries. And what I noticed was if I come into this food supplier, it's like it's saying it wants to ship 176 of these from the Fort Lauderdale farm, which is the one here. So this one's got 10 tons of stuff to be delivered, and this one has trucks backed up and waiting. And I think what it is that it's slowly shifting to rebalance things, like not nearly as quickly as I would want it to. So and then I made kind of another mistake because I took some of the trucks off of the south one in order to, because I thought maybe the problem was that we didn't have enough food delivery trucks. Like in other words, these guys wouldn't increase their demand unless these guys needed to deliver it. Does that make sense? But I don't think that's the problem. So I think what I want to do is come back in here and catch a food delivery truck like before it, like this guy, right? And I think I want to put him back on wheat south just to get them, back to this range here, right? Because if you can see, between these two, the range is a little bit low in a sense. It should be even or above this. Like if both of these if all three of these are at 34, that would be the perfect balance. But I also want the wheat to be above 34, right? And then I wasn't putting more vehicles on the bread delivery just because I didn't have any more money, if nothing else. But so and I don't really want to take any off of this line. It's our one profitable line, but this should get more profitable because I don't know if you guys noticed, but this was at 24 when we come to supplier. See, now this is at 25. So it's slowly shifting to get more stuff from Hayward Farm. And I don't necessarily, I guess I could take a truck off of here, but that's like a pretty long, wasteful run all the way up to there. So what I'm thinking of is trying the experiment of taking this guy. Well, again, we'll wait for it type thing, like this guy, and let's switch him to the south. All right, so now this is at 36 supply, and then we would want to get this wheat north up a little bit as well, but let's just see what happens. Like, really what I want to do at first is just get the demand down from here, right, and get it over to here so that these guys start being fuller when they're leaving. All right, so they're sitting here waiting, which is good, and I might even want to make sure that they're waiting the maximum. Yeah, do we want them to wait the maximum? I think so. Just the less running around they do, kind of the better. When they get a load, off they'll go. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So I would have been far better off, I think, sort of rebalancing things. And I think I could have, like, broken the demand on this line and got rid of the wheat in here, but that might even be worse. So there you go. So I think over time, this would get better. And I think, and this is what I wanted to see. Let's make this a little wider. See, I want this line here should be almost full all of the time if things are running well. And you can see we're making more money off of this than anything else. Well, I guess we are making more money on our trains technically, but our money is not really actually going up. So I don't know that this is going to save this playthrough, but at the same time, I get it now is going to be the title of this video, I think. And in the line of I get it now, let's let this run forward a little bit more. Let me see if I can catch the money going up. I think the problem that we have, if we come to here, and if I click on this, let's just take a look at how's our line doing. Yeah, we haven't really had a profitable year on the trains. And I think the problem is, look, we're down to 60 out of 84 passengers. So I'm not real sure. Until that number goes up, I don't think we're going to be incredibly profitable, but at least it's not losing money. So if I can let a little more time play forward, then maybe we'll be in decent shape. So I'm just going to do exactly that. And we'll see. So hopefully we can get this line completely full all the time, and then this rate will balance out a bit so that this line will become much more profitable. This one looks okay, though. Why does this? Oh, because we just switched those trucks. They haven't gotten wheat in yet. So I think we should be okay if this is the delivery rate. And see, by the way, don't get too excited when you first put a truck on there or whatever, train, I imagine. See, like this is exactly what I wanted to see. A rate slightly better here than here. And then this should end up being equal to this. So eventually I hope to buy a few more trucks for the bread and get that bread delivery up to 34, right? Or 33 would be perfect. So let me see what happens when we play this forward a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Because if this doesn't help us enough, and if our train population doesn't go up, we're going to be in dire trouble. All right, but anyway, I like I said 3-4 times, I get it. I now understand better how to make these things profitable, and you can't worry about these guys' profitability. You need to get these trucks full both ways as often as possible. And this is not the way I would have started out had I known about this. But at least, like I said, I think we're making this more profitable. But let's see what we can do. All right, see you guys in a bit. Well, that's it. We're done. By that I mean I am going to start over. I think I saved it right in the same place, and I'm pretty sure I remember the seed was Revers. I can always go back and look. But we're just not making money. We're not making enough money. Even if we were to become profitable, I think it's just getting to be to the point that it's too painful. I stopped it deliberately right on December 31st. I think this is it's a pretty good time to show you the problem. So we're going to have made a little bit of money depending on how you look at it, right? So in other words, we will have made 100 and some thousand, right? Over, like, let's just look at these 2 years. Now, I don't know if every 2 years we're going to be profitable or not, but it's just not going to be enough money for the fact that all of our vehicles are out of date and we'd have to replace them, and we just didn't make enough money. We could probably drag it out painfully and see what happened, but just because this was my first attempt, I think I've learned a lot. A lot of your comments didn't make 100% sense to me in the very beginning, but I think now they do. So anyway, we're gonna restart, but let me show you. Like, we're really close, and like I said, we're not going to go bankrupt in the exact second, and we might be able to squeak it out, but I think, like I said, I just want to start over. So this is kind of the problem right here. Like, we're almost like that close. This guy's been waiting here a little bit, not too overly long, this train number 2, but he's not filling up with people, not immediately. Now, if we go over to train number 1, let's pin this guy. Train number 1 here is moving with 42. So we're getting enough people in Reversville, but we're not here. And what happens is train number 2 gets to this point and stops. So his cargo value keeps going down. We're kind of waiting here. If I don't wait here, then I'm running trains back and forth with less people. So it's sort of, I'm not really convinced that having them wait is the best thing, but not having them wait wasn't working either, because he would have left with like maybe 20 some people, and that's just not cutting it either. So at the same time, so that's what I'm blaming it on. But there was, we could have done things a lot more efficiently from the very, very beginning. And I think if we had not spent so much money on our maintenance cost in the very beginning, done it with the bus stops instead of trying to look to the future. And just so you know, I did have a comment like, why would I have built those terminals like I did? Well, as the city expands, it would have been nice to have had a terminal and not have to tear down this building. But it's not worth it on hard mode. If you're going to try to go the route I went, just go real simple so that you save as much money as possible. And then the other thing is, let's take a look at the finances. If you look, the year before this was like 20 some thousand. So as this line got more and more profitable, look, we got 135,000 from the road. If I could have done something like this from the very beginning, or if I did, I could have, I didn't. If I did something like this from the very beginning, I think we would have been reasonably profitable, right? So, at least enough that we could have kept moving. Like the little bits of money you make in the very beginning, it's like exponential, like what you can do with that, right? We could have expanded more and more and more. So, having said that, I don't know what we'll do when we restart the next map, but I need to think about ways that we can have a situation like this where even just this one line running back and forth. Here, let's go back over to the lines, right? If just this one line, look at that, we're making 92,000. So you'll make a little bit on the one-way lines, I'll call them, like where you're only hauling one way, but you'll make profitable money, really, like a lot of our profits coming from this. Because if you consider this one, the Wheat South, now we might get even a little more efficient as time goes on, but the Wheat South has the same number of trucks as the bread wheat here. And look at this, 92,000 versus 14,000. Now, again, that could be off a little bit with the timing of the ticks, but even if this was 46,000, you're still like doubling this, right? So these two lines with, twice as many vehicles here are making half as much. Now, are some of the cargoes worth more or less? I don't really know. And then we could get more profitable because we're starting to build up wheat here. So if we could get any money going, which this has just been kind of going down and down and down, but I think we could get it to go up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. But the problem is it's becoming torturous. So anyway, I'm not unhappy that I did it this way. And the reason is, if you knew me and my personality, I've learned a lot. And I've learned a lot more details. If I had just dove into someone else's video or just went right to the Steam, those guys were like weeks ahead of me in being able to make videos and put them out and whatnot when they got the thing 3 or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was that they got the early access to the thing. So I'm thinking that, we're going to restart and we're going to do it. I'm not sure if we're going to do it like the super easy way or not, but I'm very confident that we can find some place on this map that we can become profitable relatively quickly. And I'm glad I learned what I learned. So without wanting to go on and on about how wonderful a learning experience our failure was, I think in the next episode, expect to see season 2 on the same exact map. And we'll see, I don't know if we're going to start in Fort Riverdale. Obviously, this would be a reasonably profitable thing to get started. But at the same time, I'm thinking that this two-way rail kind of situation might be better. So if we looked around for some place that we can haul things, what you need is a situation where you can haul something back and forth. So like getting bricks, like some place that we can get clay, right? So like if we were trying to find a city that we could haul from, we could take the bricks right over to here directly, but we would have a line that would go get clay someplace. I don't see anything reasonably close. We can go over the river. That's not a huge problem. But yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we can even use the river in the next playthrough, but we'll have to see. But yeah, and I'm not going to sit there and think about it too much right now. I'll think about it before the next episode. So expect us to come back with this map clean and fresh now that I get it. Now I think we can make some money. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. The little season 1 is at an end. It was a failure, but hey, you know what? Sometimes your failures in life are your best learning experiences. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.